Adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe, limit, or otherwise point to nouns and pronouns. To understand how adjectives work in sentences, we must review terms that include subject, predicate, linking verb, and articles. Adjectives may appear in either the subjective or the objective part of a sentence. Adjectives are usually close to the nouns or pronouns they modify, but not always. Sometimes they modify a subject, but are located in the predicate. The subject of a sentence is whom or what the sentence is about. It is usually a noun. The predicate is the verb and its modifiers. It tells what the subject is or does. Some grammarians say that the predicate and the verb are the same thing. Others say that the predicate is the verb and its modifiers. Both are correct. The graphic here shows that the subject can be thought of as being in the front part of a sentence. Then comes the verb and its modifiers, and they together make up the predicate. The whole thing is one complete sentence. The first and most common type of adjective is called the descriptive adjective. It describes or limits a noun or pronoun. For example, the tall man spoke. Tall describes the man. Fine. The president threw the first ball. This is not a description, but it limits. The baseball that he's throwing to start the season is called the first ball of the season. It's a limiting factor. His former roommate poured the drinks. And former, again, is a limiting adjective. It's descriptive, but it's limiting. Here's some more examples. She is an excellent beautician. Excellent obviously describes beautician. He is a wonderful person. Wonderful describes person. I took a long walk. Long, again, describes walk. Marion drives a red car, and there's a picture of it. It looks like it's a Mustang, I don't know. Red describes the car. Now sometimes adjectives will appear in the predicate part of a sentence. And in that case, we have what is known as a predicate adjective. It's an adjective in the predicate, but it modifies the subject. Predicate adjectives always follow a linking verb. And another thing about predicate adjectives, they are going to modify a noun in the subject, and there might be some distance between the two of them. That particular adjective will not be right next to the noun that it modifies. More about predicate adjectives. When we talk about predicate adjectives, we have to think about the to be verbs because they have a linking function. Those are verbs such as am, are, is, was, were, and so forth. And predicate adjectives can follow these linking verbs. Here's an example. They, there's a plural pronoun, were cheerful. Were is a linking verb. Cheerful is an adjective, and it's in the predicate. It modifies they. He is funny. That's a very short sentence, but it's perfectly good. Is the linking verb. Funny is a predicate adjective that modifies he. You are beautiful. Wonderful. Are is the linking verb. Indicates a sense of time, actually, but it links you with beautiful. Beautiful is a predicate adjective which modifies you. I am tall. Am is the linking verb. Tall is a predicate adjective which modifies I. So in this graphic, you can see that linking verbs link the subject to an adjective or a noun in the predicate. Look at the first example. Here we have John is a wonderful teacher. John is a subject, is a linking verb, and there is in the predicate a noun. That is an example of a predicate noun, not a predicate adjective. Teacher does not actually describe John. It simply renames him. On the other hand, we have Louise and Joan are beautiful. Okay, we have compound subjects. We have a plural verb, which is a linking verb. Beautiful. It's an adjective in the predicate adjective that modifies both Louise and Joan. Here are some more examples. The lecture was interesting. Lecture is the subject. Was is the linking verb. Interesting describes the lecture, so it is a predicate adjective. The woman is beautiful. Woman is the subject. Is the linking verb. Beautiful is a predicate adjective, modifies woman. Notice that the verbs in these sentences, that is, was and is, do not show action. They serve only one function, and that is a linking function between the subject and a predicate adjective, or in some cases a predicate noun. Now, articles can also be adjectives. Not all grammarians agree with that. Some say that articles are a separate category in their own right. Others say that articles are adjectives because they point to particular nouns. So it limits, a word that limits or points to a particular noun is similar to an adjective. It includes a, an, and the. An example is, the professor arrived. The functions like an adjective because it's pointing to professor. A student smiled. Again, a is pointing to student. An engineer. Now, an, of course, we have to use that instead of a because the word engineer begins with a vowel, but it's an engineer, and an is pointing to engineer. Here's some more examples of articles as adjectives, and I'm going to put all 4 of them up there. Each of these sentences has 2 adjectives. Let's look at the first one. Michael drove the blue car. Well, blue is a descriptive adjective, describes car. And the, in my opinion, is an article that functions just like an adjective. So I would say the and blue are both adjectives. That's my opinion. Some people will not agree with that. She dropped the hot pan. Hot is obviously a descriptive adjective. It describes the pan. But again, we have the, which, in my opinion, is also an adjective. Number 3, he lifted a heavy barbell. Here's a picture of him lifting this heavy barbell. Heavy is obviously a descriptive adjective, but we have a also, so there's 2. And number 4, the sun transmits ultraviolet rays. Ultraviolet is an adjective, describes the rays, but look at over here. Sun is also a noun, and it's preceded by the word the. In my opinion, the, in this case, is also an adjective because it points to the sun. Well, that concludes our overview of adjectives. Now, for more information on this subject, you can consult a good book on grammar. I recommend The Only Grammar Book You'll Ever Need by Susan Thurman. And by the way, I do not get a commission. I do not get any money. I don't get anything out of this. I simply am passing on the information. You can buy that book used from eBay for about $4. Don't need a new book. Used one is just fine. So, thank you for your attention. I hope to see you next time.